Alright fam, I am here to do an original tag that I created based on my medication history. I know, what a cool idea for a book tag, right? But anyway, I thought it would be cool, and I came up with all these questions that fit like what happened when I took the medication. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. But anyway, let's just, I'll show you guys how cool I think it is by answering said questions. So number one is LEXAPRO. That's the first medication that I tried. And it's generally, it generally works for people. It made my depression worse. So name a book with a depressing ending or a book that made you cry. And for that, I'm going with They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. Can't see his name. My fingers are covering his name. But anyway, this book has a very depressing ending. And, you would assume so from the title, but like, it still gets you. And I'm pretty sure I cried. I may have shed a tear. I don't know if I like properly cried, but I think my eyes got a little watery. So it fits both, but you can honestly do one or the other. But yeah, so depressing ending, and probably also made me cry. The next medication that they put me on is ZOLOFT. And they did this because my mom was taking ZOLOFT at the time and it worked for her. So they were like, oh yeah, it'll totally work for you. And it did. But then, like a year later, it stopped working. So name a book that you fell out of love with. And for this may shock y'all. I'm going with Harry Potter. I'm holding up The Prisoner of Azkaban because it's the first in the series that I own. I don't own the first two. So it's not specifically The Prisoner of Azkaban, it's just Harry Potter in general. And J.K. Rowling is mainly to blame for this. I'm sure, like, if she wasn't a TERF and, like, didn't say all this random shit on Twitter, that I would like it a lot more. And also, if I'd been more invested in the fandom, I would like it a lot more, but I never really got super invested in the fandom because I read it too late to really get in on the hype. Like, I was never obsessed with it, so I just liked it, and then J.K. Rowling did all this shit, and now I, like, look back on it, and I'm like, yeah, it's not as good as I thought it was, is it? So yeah, that's my answer. I'm still a proud Ravenclaw. I still have my Ravenclaw lanyard. It's behind me on my little keychain thing. I don't know. Can you see it? Yeah, there it is. But yeah, so like, I still like that kind of shit, but like, I don't know. I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan anymore. But anyway, let's move on to VIIBRYD. This was like a new medication at the time, and my doctor was like, yeah, let's put you on this. Here's the thing for a free trial of it. And I took it, and I was like, okay, wow, this kind of works, but it gives me mad insomnia. Let's go get more. Then my insurance didn't cover it, and it was going to be like $200 or more, probably more, honestly. So the question is to name the most expensive book you own. So mine is like a tie, actually. These two books were both $25. This says $24.99 on the back, so I'm sure it was a little over $25. And then this book I know was $25, not because it says it anywhere on the back, but because I got to the register and they were like, it's $25. And I was like, what? But anyway, the books are Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me and The Song of Achilles. Hardback edition. The paperback version is not this much. It's technically the library bound up edition, so I don't know why it was $25, but it was. And I still bought it for some reason. But yeah, so like these two books, I mean, okay, actually, what I'm trying to say is I don't know how much my signed copies of Spell Hacker and Call Down the Hawk are, because I got them both from Fountain Bookstore. My Spell Hacker copy is actually signed, whereas my Call Down the Hawk copy just has a signed book plate. But they were both, I think, around $26. So here's my copy of Spell Hacker. It says Badass Illegal Fun Times Await, and then MK England signed it. And you guys have seen my Call Down the Hawk copy. If you've seen one of my reading blogs, it's in there. And I don't feel like going out and getting it because it's over there. And I don't feel like moving over there. So anyway, let's get on with the next question. Which is Wellbutrin, which I'm still on, guys. But anyway, Wellbutrin actually makes my anxiety worse. People refer to it as the prison cocaine. Basically, it's just for depression. It's not one of those that's like, oh yeah, I treat anxiety and depression. No, it just treats depression. And it's not even an SSRI. I think it's like an MO something. I don't know. Google it. But it's definitely not an SSRI. Because as you can see, the 3 that I listed were SSRIs. So my doctor was like, clearly SSRIs aren't working for you, so we need to try something else. So he put me on Wellbutrin, and it works kind of. But anyway, it makes my anxiety worse. So, name a book that kept you on the edge of your seat. And for that, I'm actually going with The Disasters by M.K. England. So, this is like a space sci-fi book about these like group of dropouts who have to save the world. And like there's never a dull moment in this book. It's bam, things just keep happening. So yeah, I'd say it kept me on the edge of my seat. And it's just a good book. I highly recommend it. Next is REMERON, which I was put on to help my anxiety once they found out that my anxiety was worse when I was on Wellbutrin. So they were like, okay, take Wellbutrin and then take REMERON, and the REMERON should help your anxiety. But it just made me gain weight. So it didn't help my anxiety at all, and it just made me gain weight. So name a chunky book on your TBR that you don't think will be worth it. And for that, I'm going with Obsidio. So, chunky book, as you can see. And the reason why I'm worried it won't be worth it is because Illuminate was good, Gemina was okay, and I'm worried that this one might be slightly worse than Gemina just because it's the 3rd book in the series. It's the last one, so it could be good, but like, it could also be worse. And like, I don't know. I'm just worried it won't be worth it. Even though these are fairly easy to read because they're, just like documents and stuff, but it's still chunky, and I'm still worried it won't be worth it. So I don't really have any other chunky books on my TBR, so this was the only book that I could find, and it worked for the question. So, whatever. Needless to say, I did not stay on REMERON. I quickly stopped taking it after I realized it made me gain weight, and I was noticing nothing different with regards to my anxiety. So yeah, I stopped taking that one. And then after that, they were like, hey, I guess we can put you on clonazepam or Klonopin. I always call it clonazepam, even though that's the generic name, and I'm using the like brand names for all of these. So Klonopin, which is a scheduled substance. So every time I'm still on it, because it does actually help my anxiety, because it's like a benzo. It's like the low-key version of Xanax. But anyway, basically, every time I get it refilled, I can only have 3 months refills at a time. I have to go into the doctor every 3 months to get it refilled, and I have to pay the copay just to be like, yes, I need more medication. And they're like, cool, here's your medication. It's ridiculous. But anyway, scheduled substance. So name a banned book that you like. This one was difficult for me because, I haven't read a lot of the classic banned books, so I had to go for something more modern. And what I got were a bunch of John Green books, The Perks of Being a Wallflower, Harry Potter, and The Hunger Games was apparently a banned book. I didn't know this. But yeah, apparently it was banned because it was like anti something. I don't remember what it said. I don't remember what the article said. But yeah, so apparently The Hunger Games was banned. And so I really like The Hunger Games still. I should go back and reread them, but I haven't, and I don't really have any plans to. I just have some fond memories of them. I remember liking them. Well, I don't remember liking Mockingjay as much, but I remember really liking the first two. And then, the movies happened. That's the thing. But anyway, this is a banned book that I like. But anyway, let's get on with the next one, which is Abilify. Abilify is actually an SSRI, but it's like the one that you usually take. You usually take it with something, so it like helps out the other medication. So I take it with my WELLBUTRIN, and it kind of like helps a little bit. It also counteracts the insomnia that my WELLBUTRIN gives me, and it makes me super fucking sleepy, okay? All this to say, name a book that puts you to sleep. I'm going with The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I do not own this anymore. I unhauled it, and I hope it found a better home, because I was not going to reread that book. Literally, I was doing a 24-hour readathon, and I got to that book, and I literally think I fell asleep while reading it. That could be because I was just very tired, but like also it wasn't a very interesting book. I just didn't like it that much, and I'm pretty sure I fell asleep while reading it, so doesn't get any better than that for the question, now does it? Next, and finally, is Ambien, which actually doesn't work with Abilify. They counteract each other. So when I took Ambien to help me fall asleep, because like I said, insomnia was a thing, and people were like, here, Ambien, that helps insomnia. It didn't work. In fact, I would fall asleep, and then I would just wake up randomly in the middle of the night and not be able to go back to sleep. So, name a book that kept you up late. I'm going with The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. So, when I first read this book, when I first got it from the library, I've read 400 pages in one day. Now that's pretty crazy if you ask me, and I don't know if I could do that again. But yeah, I read 400 pages in one day, and I think I went to sleep at like 1, which is kind of wild that I managed to stay up that late reading. But yeah, I definitely did, and so that answers this question. If you don't know, it's about a bisexual disaster named Monty, and he goes on a tour of Europe, essentially, with his best friend Percy, who he has a crush on and has probably actually been in love with for ever, and his sister Felicity, who wants to be a doctor and shit. And hijinks ensue, obviously. So yeah, it's real good. I highly recommend it. And that is the end of our tag. I haven't been prescribed any other medications. These are all the medications. I'm still on, as I said, WELLBUTRIN, Abilify, and Klonopin. And those are the medications that I featured in the thumbnail. So yeah, if you have any questions regarding medication, feel free to let me know. If you have any questions regarding these books, feel free to let me know. If you have no questions and you just want to talk to me, feel free to leave a comment down below. If you like this video, feel free to actually give it a thumbs up. And if you want more of my videos, you can subscribe. I never do this sort of shit, so I'm real awkward right now, but I figured like I'm really close to 200 subscribers, so I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try and promote myself a little bit, you know? So yeah, if you want more of this, subscribe, and you'll get more of this. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.